make the stacks blow, rolling smoke out my nose, leaning on the console.
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Just so everyone knows, right, because I like being transparent, we're not playing our intro music to our headphones.
That's right.
Like we normally do, because if you're watching the podcast, you guys see we got our mics on like this.
Yep.
We love more of like the social setting for a podcast, and typically when we do this, we still bring out the tables and the podcaster and our mics and our headphones, and there is something nostalgic about just everything being quiet with headphones and being able to hear yourself speak. And Joe Rogan talks a lot about it. I definitely feel the benefit. But a lot of times, too, it's just like as busy as we get and we miss an episode or decide not to do one, like some of it is predicated on just setup. So having a leaner setup isn't changing the product for the consumer, for you guys watching or for watching and listening or just listening. It's actually, it could be better because you're not looking at a bunch of mics in front of our face or whatever it may be. But for us, it's like, it is a change to just sit here and talk to you versus mic, headphones, and like almost like zoning out.
And I do think there's an element to it, like you mentioned, of just the visual style of like just short form content, not having headphones and mics in your face and stuff. But then also, I do like the component of like your own voice, being able to kind of hear it and kind of get in the zone. I feel like it almost, and this like Joe Rogan aside, I feel like it almost makes it almost harder in a way to have just a conversational back and forth. Like you're almost like so in the zone. It takes like, that's one thing I like about like the is it Flagrant podcast? Yeah. Like it is real. It can be a little much because there's like 5 dudes on there. But I do feel like it's more conversational and open.
When you have headphones on, you definitely know if you're talking over somebody.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For sure, like you'll feel that. But again, I think for just people listening, you know, like it could be a better product. As far as like just what you guys are looking at.
So we're leaning up a little bit there.
So it's going to take some getting used to is what I'm saying. Maybe I'll just start looking at the camera more often. Who knows? But fun topic today. We're going to be talking about Redefined. You guys know we were day one $0 for a long time, and then it was like cool. You know, we're more than just, you know, and like I love the name of day one $0. I love the concept of what it was. It was like, here's our literal day one $0. Here's where we started. Here's our story. Let's go hear other people's stories. You know, but as you guys know, our podcast has evolved with our careers in real estate, and it was always just running parallel to that. We were never trying to be a standalone podcast all on its own. We're podcasters for a living. It's like, nope, we've got Mile High Property Brothers. We've got a couple hundred agents that work with us that we're partnered with. We've got our own personal traditional real estate, investment style real estate, our own lives. Cool. So they were parallel, but like it was never real estate. Day one $0 had real estate people on. We talk real estate as examples, but it was never real estate, and that's okay. But it was also just like, it wasn't necessarily money either, even though it's called day one $0. Like it wasn't always about money, and it felt a little limited, but it was also broad. So oxymoron there. But as we've grown and as we've really achieved a lot more in real estate, we just have more real estate to talk about. We also just have more real estate we want to share. And I think, you know, now that we've changed the podcast, it's redefined, but now we've added real estate to it. You and I had a conversation a week ago.
As in real estate redefined.
Correct.
Right,
Real estate redefined. We had a conversation a week ago when we were not doing an episode, right? And it was like, hey, is this everything we want it to be? It's always been this thing that we've like prided ourselves on of like, hey, we have a podcast, but it's not real estate. It's bigger. And it's like, hey, are we doing that because we're just trying to be the cool kids and not have a nerdy real estate podcast or something? You're like, why are we putting so much effort into just not bringing it in and like just owning the fact that like, hey man, we are real estate, and we've grown significantly in the past 8 years with real estate, and there could be a lot more intentional content and help that we could give that, of course, it still pertains to everybody else. As far as like what they can pull from it, the nuggets they can pull from it. And it doesn't take away from, you can still talk about life balance, fatherhood, you know, interests, but just having 85% of it be real estate focused and getting the Sirhants on, getting the big names in real estate on in addition to what we're doing, and just giving more intention to, hey man, like it or not, or however cool we think we are or not, first of all, real estate is freaking cool. Secondly, man, we're that. Like it probably should. We probably should just take our podcast and put it on board because a lot of times, guys, like the podcast, we'll decide not to do an episode because we've got other priorities that deal with our day-to-day work or the team or whatever we're doing in real estate. So it does kind of fall to the side because it's not the priority. But it's like, how could we make it the priority and just bring it on board with actual real estate? So we talked about that last week. And then, obviously, like we had already called the podcast Redefined. So now, like, adding real estate to it, it's not rocket science. It's not that clever. It goes well, it fits well, but dude, I feel good about it because there's a lot of cool people in real estate that we've learned from, that we appreciate. There's a lot of people we could have on. There's a lot more we can speak to specifically, and I think overall it'll just be that much more productive for people that listen.
Well, and when we look at, just straight value add for people, right? Like there's a lot of cool podcasts out there. There's a lot of entrepreneurship podcasts. There's a lot of choices when it comes to like, man, just something I want to have on in the background for the next 2 hours, right? There's a lot of choices there.
Yep.
Where there's not a lot of options are real practical, tactical real estate podcasts of like how real estate can be done in this modern age.
So just so everyone listening understands what Eli's saying. Eli's saying, hey man, we ain't cool to compete with the fucking Cam Hanes and the Joe Rogans. Like if you're just going to have some cool open experience podcasts, there are so many out there that do a great job as well, right? Like even myself, man, like there's some that I enjoy that are just awesome, but they're full-time in that and they're cranking. It's like, hey, why can't we be that or be those guys, but in our industry, right?
Well, and I like having a podcast where people can like take real actionable things away from it, not just mindless stuff that you can listen to that's interesting, but like, hey, this is where I go to like learn some real shit to be able to apply these things directly in my business.
And having more focus there, man. We're going to be able to just give more. And obviously, if you're not in real estate and you've been listening to us for a long time, you met us through Andy Frisella or Rich Sommers or whoever, a lot of the practical applications that we'll give here are still going to be beneficial to whatever industry you are. Like at some point when we're talking business, even though the emphasis is through real estate, a lot of it applies. Like I pulled a lot from different podcasts that are not real estate, but on just organizing and how to structure business and leadership stuff, et cetera, that I'm able to pull into it, right? So if you're not real estate, doesn't mean you won't be able to get something from this moving forward. But, now that we've cleared the air on that, it's we've made a little change. It's real estate redefined. And yeah, man, it'll be fun to see who we bring on. It'll be fun to see the different topics of discussion that we want to have, all while still talking about fatherhood and everything else that coincides with our real estate life.
Yeah. Well, and dude, like, it's funny. Last week we were out with those clients out in Sterling Ranch. These clients came from our YouTube channel, and we're starting, whether we like it or not, we're starting to get more crossover between like our real estate clientele and our podcast. Because and I'm hearing from more and more of them of like how, I checked out your podcast or I listened to your podcast. And this last one we were out looking at homes, and she mentioned that she's listened to a few episodes of our podcast. And I jokingly was like, and you still hired us?
Oh God.
And literally I was like, I'm so sorry for whatever you listened to on there.
There have been some funny episodes.
And I did tell her, I said, hey,
and by funny I mean not necessarily real estate appropriate.
Yeah. And I did tell her, hey, we do try and keep some separation there. She goes, yeah, but when I Google either one of your names,
it pops up.
All the podcast stuff pops up,
As it should.
Yeah, as it should.
Along with like our Instagrams and our Google reviews and everything else, right?
Yep.
Well, and the more AI is around, the more search engines become better. Like, and the more we're just growing by the day, it's only going to get to that, right?
Yeah.
So even more reasons. So like, if you guys are listening to this right now and you're thinking about like, hey, what's your takeaway for, building your own brand and your own business? It's like, there's everything we're talking about right now is like brand congruency, right? Like we've got this great real estate brand that we've built, adjacent from this podcast, and there hasn't been a lot of crossover. But at some point, like as you grow, it's like, man, there needs to be a conversation with, hey, as people find you or look you up or it may be, like, are you that guy for that thing? Or is it a little confusing as far as like what people would come to you for?
Totally.
And we definitely don't want that. And especially like even on our podcast, the fact that we're just going to register it now as a real estate podcast will probably significantly grow beyond anything we've already grown to, just by being hyper-focused and being able to say, hey, we're this, come here for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Like I know you talk to our clients like a little bit more than us on some of that stuff. And yeah, it's cool though.
Yeah, it's funny. It reminds me of when I always joke and tell people, it's also not a joke, but I joke and tell people like, man, I would have been into real estate way earlier if I didn't have this perception of what I thought you had to be as a realtor. Like I remember I bought the real estate course back in probably 2013,
You
maybe.
remember which one it was?
Some shit one online. It wasn't one of
it
like
wasn't GSD
it
mode?
wasn't. No, it wasn't. Well, it was like the licensing course. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I went through 2 weeks of that and was like,
Buddy,
man,
they're in their cardigans.
fuck this.
It reminds you of...
It wasn't even video. It wasn't even video. It was just online, click through, read some shit,
So I had
take
video
a
where
course.
like I'm watching people teach me, and what was that child show with Mr. Rogers?
Oh yeah, Mr. Rogers, the cardigan, the shoe toss.
And I'm not disrespecting. I'm not saying that real estate school should be like the strip club and like fun or something. Not that strip clubs are fun, right? Like from what I hear. They should be that. Like you're going to school. It doesn't necessarily need to be interactive. Like you're learning legal stuff. And listen, now that I've gone through it, I want everybody to be bored.
Yeah.
And you have to go through that shit
Yeah.
to get through it. But it's a lot of legal information. It's a lot of important stuff. And like by nature, you know, you're not going to have like Guns N' Roses teach that, right? Like you're just not. It's a certain thing for what it is. But, you know, we've been talking about this for years. Make real estate fit you, not the other way around, right? Like don't just go fit into real estate and do the thing and be the, you know, and get in line. Like really figure out your unique value adds. In addition to like unique value adds, by the way, are not necessarily skill sets. These get confused a lot when I'm speaking or like if I'm coaching something. Like unique value adds are exactly what I'm saying that they are. Like what are your unique value adds? Like for Will, my unique value adds could be, hey, I'm a bigger guy. I'm polarizing. I'm tattooed. My backgrounds just give a certain thing. Cool. But part of that unique value add is like just going through police work and being able to plan 10 steps ahead. I mean, dude, we've planned our entire buyer process and structured other things in our business based off of the total consumer experience and how to manage not just the legality and logistical side of that and what happens, but just the emotional side. And I think you and I, like, not to brag, we were the first guys in our space that were really addressing people's stressors and minimizing knee-jerk reactions
Before they
certain
became
things.
stressors.
And it was all coming from my unique value add of being experienced as a police officer and just watching how much people's emotional response to high pressure or high risk or unknown, you know, situations. It wasn't just like shootings people were freaking out at. It was like domestic disputes where, you know, people were just like emotionally attached to something. And I thought when I was getting into real estate that, like, you know, being at Fit Republic with Kurt, being his number 2 guy, figuring out these commercial locations and like where to put supplement stores and all of that stuff was like, oh, that'll really help me in real estate. Like, not that it didn't, but emotionally being able to just manage and prepare people. And here's the thing, it's not about saying the right thing when they're emotional. It is. But let's go a little bit deeper. It's like you need to prep and plan for the emotional side of something prior to the experience. Like, I guess an example would be if I'm going to teach you how to go skydiving, I don't need to walk you through it while we're actually skydiving. We need to sit down and go through the suit and go through the court and go through everything, not when we're in the plane, not when the plane's even on. Like, we're just going through prior to the actual emotional side. Now, you're going to have some excitement and some nerves just looking at that stuff, just like when people are going through the buyer process or the selling process. You know, it could be very exciting news because you're upsizing or downsizing and your kids are going to college. It could be some not very fun things. People have family members pass away. There's divorce. There's all sorts of things that go on. So there's already enough emotional atmospherics to the moment of we're just talking to Will and Eli now as our realtors about buying or about selling. There's already enough in the room. Being able to prepare them logistically with a plan of how we attack it, but then also giving consideration to here's some things you may feel during the process. Here's what we're going to do in lieu of that to prepare for it. Now, when we're actually in the process and someone's about to have a knee-jerk reaction, I can reflect on our presentations. I can reflect on our training, and they'll remember that, and it helps them versus if I just try to say it in the moment, they're not reflecting on the training they got. They're not reflecting on the presentation they got. They're just thinking, like, are you trying to sell me?
Yep.
or are you trying to calm me down, or are you trying to sell me? Like, and the reason why is because you're trying to coach them through something that they are unaware of because you haven't given a prep process, and they're already emotional.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, cool, if you don't believe me, just don't have a plan. Like, don't have a plan with your spouse, okay? Don't have a plan with your wife. Just next time you guys are in an argument, tell her to calm down.
Yep.
And then just let me know, I'll donate to your funeral.
Yep.
But if you talk to your wife prior to an argument and you go, hey, listen, when we get in fights, I tend to be this way for these reasons, so I want to do this to help. Or so if you see me walk away, it's for this reason. Or I like to do this helps. If you guys create a plan, then when you're in that emotional state of the argument, you can lean on the plan. No one misinterprets that.
That's so good.
It's the same thing. If you have a plan for sellers or buyers, then when we revert to the plan during the emotional side of the process, they can reflect on that versus just thinking, not even knowing why you're saying something or doing something, and they feel like you could be getting sold. So this is like what I would call like the unique value adds of like just my prior experience in life and applying it to real estate. Again, making real estate fit me, not the other way around. Those are my unique value adds. Cool. Whether it's perspective based, prior experience based, talent based potentially. Cool. Now, skill sets are like your ability to communicate all of that, your ability to organize and actually present a plan, your ability, right? Those are skill sets that we have to develop. Your knowledge and ability to articulate law. Got it. Like, these are all the skill sets. Unique value adds are something that's like just organically unique to a situation. Well, I and everyone else watching this or listening, all of us are unique in some manner going into any situation because we're us. I'm me, you're you. My prior experiences, my lens, my whatever. I'm a father, I'm a prior police officer, whatever it is. You're a mother, you're like, there's things about you that make you unique. And if you start understanding those better and understanding how those apply to your industry, you'll have a better grasp on, okay, what are my unique value adds and how do they apply to making me unique that makes people want to use me versus the next guy?
Yeah.
And then secondary to that is, what skill sets do I need to develop better to accentuate, enhance, better polish these unique value adds that actually create an overall experience?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, completely.
Cool.
The man, and I like the emphasis, and this has been something since I've been working with you day one. I like the emphasis on creating additional skill sets around the emotional side, because I think people tend to put those in two different buckets of like, there's like these real estate skills, and then the emotions typically don't even get addressed at all, right?
When you're looking at leadership, it's like, if you think being right is leadership, it's not. It's being able to have influence over others, right?
Yep.
Get people to listen to you, getting people to, and listening is one thing. Being led by you is another. I got no problem listening to someone out of self-respect, out of respect for them, out of respect of, I don't necessarily agree with what this guy's saying, but he's a friend of my friend, so I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to listen to him. That's one thing for sure. But being led by someone and me allowing someone to lead me through a process, it's not whether just that you're right or not. And don't get me wrong, like, you need to be well-versed and professional and good at your job. And definitely don't work in absolutes where you can risk being right or wrong. Like, there's a way to navigate real estate where we plan for any outcome.
Yeah.
We have a strategic-based plan, and then through the process, it's based off of what's unfolding in real time through inspections and appraisals and, counters or renegotiations. Like, as things unfold, we have a strategic plan that allows us to have a strategic process. So it's not like we're going to do A because we know B is going to happen. Okay. And then when B doesn't happen, you're screwed. Can't do that. It's got to be strategic based, right? But it's not about, like, you definitely have to be great at your job. Don't get me wrong. But in addition to that, people also have to feel heard. They have to feel like they can trust you. They have to feel like you're listening, right? Like, all of those emotional things are actually what make the decision.
And there are skill sets that you can build to help get better at those things.
And dude, there's arguably better realtors than me.
Yeah.
But if they can express why their answer is the right answer,
Yep.
if they can't articulate and express why they're doing what they're doing and get people to understand the process, they might hate your guts. They might think you're doing nothing. They might think you're just trying to boss them around because you know best and you're not listening, and they move on. It's like that, but he might, maybe he isn't listening and he is cutting you off and he is saying something, but he's the best, right? It's like, I don't think that's a good business plan.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And if it is, I don't think it's, let me just rephrase. That's not the best approach for me.
Yeah.
I don't even feel good treating people that way. So if I can't feel good about it, then I know for sure I can't go leading my business that way. You know, and like as much as like in the movies you see the attorney that's a know-it-all and doesn't listen to anybody, but he wins all these cases, it's like for sure. But anytime in my personal life or professional life where I've met, like let's call them iconic people, iconic military veterans that I served with that are at the highest of echelon in our world, never behaved that way.
Yeah.
I've met, personally, I know 2 billionaires. And then anyone else below that that's been significant with financial success, business success, leadership success. All these people I've ever met that could quote unquote be Mr. Scrooge or whatever per se, they've never been what like society or movies make them out to be. And it's, I get it. It's like, it's romantic to have like the know-it-all interior designer that doesn't take your advice and makes your home better than you thought. Oh my God, I'm so glad I just let you do, I got it. It's like, it's funny. And, or like in the movies, the lawyer doesn't listen and, you know, and always just knows.
It mostly only works on TV.
But I just, and maybe it works in real life. I've just literally, I feel like I've known and I've met a lot of people with how far we've scaled and being 40. And anyone at a certain level of like success that would be deemed even close to one of those characters on TV, dude, I have felt so good around them.
Yeah. Dude.
Even like RP, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm building a good relationship with him. And yeah, he's a billionaire. Never seen him on his phone while he's talking to me.
Yep.
Never seen him just not respond to me.
Yep.
When I've spent 4 hours in private at a dinner with him, he was asking me more questions than I was asking him, because what we were talking about was in the expertise of what you and I are great at. And it had nothing to do with how successful he was. He gave the impression that I want to grow these guys through their skill set. I need to know more about their skill set. And I was almost like advising him at dinner. Now, I know I'm not, because I see him at a certain level. But if anything, that guy makes me feel significantly better than people that don't even have business being in the fucking room, dude.
Yep.
Will make you
Yep.
feel.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I hear that about Tom Brady too. There's other like football players and coaches that talk about Tom Brady and they're like, that guy responds to a text message within minutes.
Which is crazy.
No one can figure it out. And I'm like, dude, that's me.
Yeah, that is
If
you.
you're in my phone,
Yeah.
you know, like, and you have it, like, I'm getting back to you. The longest it's going to take me is if I'm on a podcast for an hour,
Yep.
if I'm at a lunch for an hour. But like, dude, I'm pretty good at like responding and being proactive about being communicative and helpful to people. And I appreciate that back. I think where you have to protect it is not everyone's going to be that. So you got to figure out the givers and the takers and just have your own self-regulation of like, hey, don't just because that's you doesn't mean it should go everywhere, you know. But yeah, man, everyone's significant that I've been with in life, military, police, real estate, that would be one of those.
Yep.
Never made me feel that way.
Well, and I think it comes down to like the super cliche saying, but it is so fucking true, and it's like proven, is the whole like, people aren't going to remember what you say, they're going to remember how you made them feel, you know?
It's true.
And factoring that into like the client-agent relationship, if you can just make them feel like, I think one thing that, a common denominator with all our clients is that they just feel cared for and looked out for, and like they're under the wing of Will and Eli.
Yeah,
and
we have a famous thing that you and I, well, that's not famous. We have a thing that you and I go by where, it's like, it's not a quote, but the way we explain it is, and the way we articulate it to our clients, if we're ever talking about it, but the way you and I articulate it to ourselves is, hey, our clients know that we have other clients. They know it, they expect it, and they're okay with it. But we want them to feel like they're our only client. So if we're at a certain capacity where we're busy and we know one of our agents is going to be doing some of the showings for them, we're introducing that in the very beginning of the process, identifying that person, identifying their role, when their role starts, how it's going to start, where they're involved, so it's predictable, it's expected, and they feel like that person's a part of the powwow, a part of the plan, and they never feel like we just kicked them to one of our agents. That never happens, right? So like, even though they know we have other things going on, they feel like they've got this team around them, and they feel like the service is, they feel like they're our only client.
Yeah, they're gonna feel, and that's just where the suggestions on offer price, the suggestions on inspection negotiations, all of those things, they're not, like you said, they're not going back and remembering every word we said at the presentation, but they're feeling like they're being cared for, and like
they got to feel that way
them.
first, right? So if you guys are listening to this and it's like you're leaning toward, you know it all, or you know a lot, and it's like I need that, it's like I don't want just, hey, do you guys just listen to your clients? And it's like, no, they listen to us, we lead, but I'm just letting you know how you make someone feel comes before they're going to let you lead them.
Yeah.
Right? So and then just identifying the emotional side. Do people need to be heard? Do people need to be informed? Like as we interview clients, right? Whether it's on listings or buys, we have the ones that are talkers. Don't out-talk them. I talk a lot, especially on this podcast. But I'm on here to talk. Yep. When we have clients and I'm serving them, and I'm actually like not sitting here talking to you guys about playing quarterback. I'm actually in the game playing quarterback. There's times I won't barely say a word in that first discovery call, wherever it may be. It's like, because some of our clients, they got to get their story out and they're so excited, and you have to let them have that. Don't try to meet their energy and talk just excited, but you can smile.
Yep.
You can embrace it. You can respond and interact where appropriate while letting them tell you everything about their life and their promotion and coming to Colorado. And like, let them, man. Like, and then as they kind of get through that, you're able to add some things, and they're just giving you more about their life, which is only going to help you with the conversation anyway.
Yep.
But then there's some that are a little bit more reserved that couldn't hold a conversation to save their life. And you're going to have to hold conversation to identify kind of like who they are and what makes them, are they smiling? Did you say a joke? Or are you asking questions? Like, and typically people that are a little bit more reserved, I'm trying to make them feel important, but I'm also gauging like their temperance for, he's talking too much. I just want to get to the fundamentals, and I'll feel it.
Yep.
But I want to ask about your life or just certain things. And believe it or not, some of those reserved ones really start to talk. And then I know, oh, people don't let you talk.
Yeah. Once you're able to kind of target what.
Yeah, like, hey, you're naturally reserved.
Yeah.
Which means you're not going out of your way to like be able to talk and get it off your chest. And because you're reserved, no one's necessarily pulling that out of you. I ask you certain questions, and all of a sudden, like, you're important to me. But I'm also just interested in who you are, and you're happy to share who you are because you very rarely ever get that
you're
from
great
people.
At that. Yeah.
But before you know it, like, these reserved people are talking.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And now you're like, ooh, man, I might have coined this guy wrong.
Because they feel comfortable with you now.
Now, some, I do that, and they don't start to talk. They kind of appreciate what I've asked, but you can tell they're ready to like, hey.
Let's go.
And they're just very black and white. They're not being rude. They're just very... that Ben Affleck movie, The Accountant.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they're probably spreadsheet people.
Yeah, like not autistic. I'm not saying that. Like, no disrespect to any of that, right? Like, but what I'm saying is like they're just very, I'm on a call for this.
Yep.
Hey, we're gonna, I like boats and the Broncos are cool, but like we're gonna talk about, and you got to get to it. So like you just have to read, and like it's not offensive. They're not mad at you for asking. If you keep going though, they're going to feel like you're making it more about you than them, and you are. And they're going to feel like you're just misreading what they need from you.
Yep.
And dude, I feel like if there's something I could give you guys on this podcast, it's don't ever forget what it feels like to be a consumer.
Yep.
Right? Because if we all can put ourselves in a restaurant, we were just talking about this earlier.
Yep.
We all like our waiters and waitresses to be a certain way.
Like good service. We all like good service.
Okay, but good service is subjective, okay?
Yeah.
Now, that waiter or waitress should really be in tune with like what that is. Is someone by themselves? Are they looking for conversation? Are they by themselves but they're not looking for conversation? They're dove into their laptop. Are they with someone? And one of my bigger pet peeves is like when I'm with someone and I'm clearly having an engaging conversation and you don't say excuse me, you don't say anything, you just obliviously walk up and start talking in the middle of a sentence where it's like, man, like you're just not, like your situational awareness is not very good. And you think you're doing a good job because you're asking me if I like my food or if I need anything versus the timing of when you should come up and ask. And what are the things you don't have to ask? If my Diet Coke is empty, could you just see that and bring one whether I asked for it or not? And if I didn't want it, I appreciated the fact that you didn't interrupt a conversation by doing something. And you're actually doing less or interacting less, but it's more.
Correct.
And I value what you're doing more because you're allowing me to have what I need to have with this lunch meeting with a very important person. Like, you got to really identify that. And I'm never rude to waiters and waitresses. I appreciate their efforts, but again, it happens in real estate. It happens in sales. It happens in business. Like when you're talking to your own consumers, are you so busy being a version of yourself you think you're supposed to be that you're not really identifying what that person is looking for? And that's where like you have to know. Perfect example, dude. You and I do this all the time. This is where, yes, having a partner does help. Eli and I will have meetings with people, whether it's like we've got some real estate brokerages that are joining our brokerage of like 45 people plus. So they're bigger meetings, they're dynamic. We're going over real P&Ls, where we can help you make money, where you can save money. We're talking real mergers and acquisitions, right? Sometimes I intentionally don't show up to a Zoom. Now, they don't think I'm ghosting because they don't think I'm supposed to show up or not supposed to show up.
Yep.
They just know we have a meeting, right? And there's some times where like, we let you run that meeting and I'm not even on it because I don't need to interject with anything. I want you guys to just get to some numbers. And then sometimes just two people on there can just be overwhelming. So there are cons that you have to worry about with partnerships. It's not all sunshines and rainbows. So if you're working by yourself, don't think that like you're somehow less fortunate. You're not. It's just different. So navigate it. But there's times where we're even doing that, or where you're like, dude, I think a call from you would actually be great. Dude, we've got like agents that have been with us for years. We make a transition, you know, and like they'll string you along for months or whatever. But you're like, dude, I just think they'd like to hear from you. So I call them and then like, hey, dude, homeboy filled out his app. He's here.
Yep, they're ready to go.
And it's just like, what? It's like,
Yeah.
sometimes just like having me there or whatever it may be. But like we're constantly, you know, checking the temperature of a room, checking the temperature of a relationship, and really just trying to, you know, adapt to like what they need. But like in sales and in relationships, like I'm not doing that to be a scammer. I'm doing it because you're important to me. Now, if you're important to me, that doesn't mean, it's like the cliche thing of like, let's use relationships because we've all had terrible ones. It's like you love someone, I love you so much, and like I just want you happy. Okay. But if that person's not with you, you're losing your mind. And it's like, no, you want that person happy as long as it's with you.
Correct, on your terms.
It's like your client's important to you as long as they're just awesome with however you want to care for them versus you being more tentative in how the care should be displayed based off of what they value. It needs to be that, right? It's I think a lot of times, like in real estate, agents get that backwards.
Oh yeah.
It's like, this is me, this is how I do my thing, and it's like, man, you could be rubbing people the wrong way, you could be missing their points or not hearing something the right way, and again, if they don't feel a certain way with you, it doesn't matter how right you're gonna be. If they're just, they just don't have the right feeling about it, you know, they're not going to be led by you. They're going to pick someone else. And if you're not emotionally intelligent enough to identify that, like we won a listing the other day, about a week ago, and client has her father there. Father was in real estate, 30 years ago?
Yes.
And as we're going through everything, he's just real reserved, and you can just tell, like, he's just trying to figure me out. And I'm fully aware of that, right? So, like, I made a point to speak to Dad. And that, you know, and I can't remember like the exact question I asked him in the moment, but it was something of like, Dad, what are your thoughts? How can I help? Anything we can help address? And it opened the door for Dad to go, no, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was something like, no, like I'm okay. I'm still just trying to figure you out.
I think that was exactly it. Yeah.
And I was like, hey, great. Like, anything I can help with or anything specific?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't think so. You just,
Yeah.
you know, but you talk fast.
Yeah.
And
Well, and you even called out, like, I think you gave him space to say something like that.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking term, give space, but that's what you did because you said, what is it? Is it that the tattoos? You know, but which opened the door.
But I didn't say it in a confrontational manner.
No, very friendly and
Very friendly.
Yeah.
And
but it gave him permission essentially to like say something.
And when you give people permission to do it, you better not be defensive.
Yeah, totally.
Don't be guarded. Really embrace it,
100%.
and almost like you're letting him critique you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because at that point, I'm okay if he critiques me.
Yeah.
Because my goal is to make sure he's comfortable with me helping his daughter sell her home, with us selling her home, right? So it's like, my goal is to make sure that he knows that even though Will talks a little fast, or hey, he's probably really good at what he does, but he listens and he'll take constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
That's the goal, because his goal is he wants to make sure that if he wants to add some advice or whatever it may be, being in real estate 30 years ago, that we're not just going to be these know-it-alls. And a lot of guys that come from the baby boomer generation, you know, guys like me that talk a little faster, like our know-it-alls. Mm-hmm. Not all of them.
Or salesmen,
Or
hard-pitched salesmen.
and for sure, now some of us are just really good speakers and energetic, and we just like helping people. And we met this client through a friend of mine, you know. And I also like personally didn't think I was really talking that fast. I think my normal talk, though, if you haven't heard real estate talk in a while, it could feel fast. Mm-hmm. Like if your normal speed driving down the highway is 85 miles an hour, but grandma hasn't been in a car in 30 years, like that's going to freak her the fuck out.
Yeah.
But again, what I'm getting at is like his interpretation versus mine is subjective. Mm-hmm. What I think is normal might not be normal to him, and it doesn't matter. What matters is, like, I wanted that guy to be heard. And he's like, no, you just talk a little fast. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, man. I just, you know, we're in this every day. Yeah. And I started talking slower. I said, we're in this every day. I do feel like we're great at what we do, but obviously, you know, we want to make sure that we're incorporating everything that you guys would like to add. And we're also just here to just do a great job. Like, we understand her circumstances. We know what's happened. Like, I'm just excited that folks trust me to come help her. I said, so, man, if I'm talking a little faster, like, I apologize. And then he instantly was like, oh, no, you're fine. Like,
totally.
As in, hey, I didn't mention it as it was a problem. I'm just mentioning it because we're engaging. And it was really cool. And, like, you end up going back. And then the second meeting we had to go, like, do the walkthrough of, like, the declutter, whatever you guys want to call it. We don't call it that, but for sake of audience, that phase, we just let you go. You know, and then you're like, yeah, he was no different. Dad was still being dad, but he was friendly to me and cool. But even just having you there versus both of us, I think just helps. You just it's just you know, you're putting a little water in the whiskey.
Totally. Yeah.
You know, but again, it's like, guys, I'm not here to argue that guy. And look, I don't think the customer is always right, except for with how they feel. You know, and like even when like with my spouse or with you and I, like when we've butted heads, and like we're really good at butting heads. We like own our own shit. It's like our wives. We put our wives to shame. We should be married, you know. But the one rule I've kind of like always had as I've grown through police work, and this is why I really learned it in police work. Like, I'm not a bad guy. I was a police officer in the community I grew up in. You know, I care about all races, all sexes. I just care about my city. I'm a good guy, right? And I have no idea someone else's experience with police, with community, with what they've been fed as a kid, all the way into their 30s, that has made them scared and react to police a certain way. Then their reaction toward police led to a reaction of police that caused something. I don't know. It's really apparent in police work how nervous and certain things, even if it's not directly related to a police officer, but just something that's going on. Right? And like what I really started to understand, and I don't think anybody really told me, I just started kind of understanding it. You cannot tell somebody how they feel. And if someone is telling you how they feel, you better not tell them, no, you're not. Or no, I'm not.
Right.
You better not.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not, so like when he was feeling a certain way, it's not about me telling him, I'm not talking fast. Like, it's not about any of that. What it's about is like, hey, like you're giving me something. How well can I take care of that to make you feel heard? So then whatever you are feeling, we can, through time, dissolve that. Mm-hmm. If people are scared or like nervous of police, just because you as a cop know you're not a threat showing up, knowing you know that person doesn't have a warrant, knowing that you know you're not going to arrest that person, you can't be like, dude, cops aren't bad. I'm not going to harm you. Calm down. You don't, you don't feel that. No, you don't. Because I haven't even done anything to make you feel that way. You don't feel that way. Listen, man, if there's ever like the wrongest thing you could do verbally in any like communication thing, like mine is going physical with people. If there's ever like the wrongest thing verbally, it's that.
Yeah. Oh, agree.
It's that. So like personally, if your spouse tells you you're making, I feel scared, I feel nervous, just do yourself a favor and just shut up. Mm-hmm. If you're about to say like, no, you don't. I'm home on time. I never go out with my friends. Like I don't do anything to make you feel that way.
Yep.
Maybe so. But for whatever reason, they feel that way. Now, if you think they're not being honest, okay, you still don't handle it that way.
Yep.
You need to just be as less combative as you possibly can, and then just start asking questions that allow them to speak to that. And if they're telling the truth, it's going to help. And if they're not, and you can see that they're searching for some things, and they can't find an answer, you can then offer some answers of, how about this? How about that? And if it's like, Will, I've done all of that, it just doesn't work. Okay, then potentially you're just not in the right relationship either.
Yes.
And that's a whole different conversation.
Or in the right job, or in the right.
But I'm just telling you, man, like if you think like someone is just off put by you or not comfortable with you, and it's like you're just such an amazing listing agent that like, well, look, if they're just uncomfortable, and we know some agents like that. We've had agents be so that they have physically touched me to shush me, right?
Yes,
because they know so much.
Yes.
And they did that in front of my wife. Like, talk about being emotionally detached to like just being respectful or just being such a no that you think that's appropriate.
Not reading the room.
But like you can be that person and think like, well, if that's what they think, that's on them. On to the next. It's like, okay. Well, I just question like, are you cognate at all about who you're becoming along the way of trying to achieve this thing? I want to be a top producer. I want to be a whatever. Okay. All right, cool. But like along the way, like who you're becoming, like, are you paying any attention to who you are along the way of what you want to be?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I am.
Yes.
I'm almost more aware of who I am, making sure that like who I am doesn't get sacrificed for what I want to be.
Now,
and we walked away from some big shit.
Speaking of leadership and becoming better and all that stuff, we've had some other recent changes in our business.
Oh, tell me.
That I want to share with you guys. So we, as you guys know, Will and I started off with Daddy Chill. What the fuck is even that? I love that. Play that clip. We've had some recent changes. You guys know Will and I started off when we were first real estate with a physical team, right? When we were at brick and mortar. When we went to EXP, we expanded.
Man, you're getting some good stuff. This could almost be a different podcast.
I know, it could. I want to touch on it, though.
The dedicated people who actually listen to our whole podcast, you're giving them some good stuff right now.
And then we went and, built a downline at EXP and then transitioned over to LPT a few months ago, which has been a phenomenal move for us. What it's also allowed us to do is it's given us the bandwidth to come back to a formal team that is now nationwide. So it's the hybrid of what we were doing.
And 100%, right?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta stop talking over you.
No, let's talk about it though. Yeah.
It just boils down to like Robert Palmer again, right? Like when I'm talking about this guy that owns our company and how well he listens and applies and just makes pivots to grow to be better for agents. That's the whole thing it's about. We will never be known for how many agents we have. We will always be known for us as practitioners and how we can help agents do more deals, which is the backbone of real estate. Not you driving around in your Rolls Royce, talking about never working and selling some dream, right? Like, by the way, let me just full disclosure. Agents want to do deals, man. They don't want to go get 5,000 people to not be able to help and go live on an ocean. And hey, look, it's like, dude, agents like serving. They like helping people. Like, let's not disrespect the industry by selling the dream that never working again because I've got all of this MLM and these agents below me paying me. It's like, partnerships are great and we have those, and that is what we do. And but it's different, right? It's done the right way. But again, no matter how big we get in that realm, we're always going to be coaching.
Yep.
We're always going to be serving, and we're always going to be out there helping clients, keeping our finger on the pulse with like what works and what doesn't work. So first and foremost, it needs to be about agents, and it needs to be about helping people conduct transactions and helping people buy and sell homes adequately. It needs to be about that, not about some dream. But second to that, as we were talking to Robert Palmer about our structure and what we've done across the country with YouTube, he's the one that allowed us to structure a team however we need to structure, because he wanted us to have a team across the entire country to bring more awareness, community, and leadership to this style of doing real estate. Because right now in real estate, you hear either, individual agents that have a great brand that kind of like run their own thing and then do their own thing, whatever that looks like. Some are good at it, some aren't. Or someone's on a team and you assume they're on a Zillow Flex team. Mm-hmm. There's really nothing in the middle. And the ones in the middle are kind of getting swallowed up by flex teams or agents that were on a teams, but they're just kind of outgrowing their team. They're over here just doing their own thing.
Which are ridiculously high when they're selling a home for their mom.
Wait till Flex starts serving influencers, not teams. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me started, man.
Yep.
Like, build your brand. And I'm not a guy who's against Zillow. I'm all for it. Do your thing. Just know what it is, though, right? Like, and then know how to use that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like Dennis Rodman on your team. Like, yeah, he's a great player. I'm not against Dennis Rodman, but just know what that is, and just know that comes with some things.
Yep.
And with those things, you need to be able to accommodate that and then be able to ultimately use him as a positive. So Zillow is what it is, and it's a great thing, but just know that, right? But there's other ways of being successful outside of that, but there's not a lot of noise on how to structure teams and grow things unless you're using Zillow. But there's some things that we've done with our infrastructure and our backends and YouTube that are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And Robert Palmer was like, yeah, great. And I want this to be led by you guys. I want to build a better community around it, and I want to build more awareness around it. So whatever the structure of that team needs to look like, I want you guys to grow a team, not in Colorado, not in Castle Pines, Colorado. I want you guys growing this team across the entire country.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, wow. It's like this dude, he's where he's at for a reason, mm-hmm. man. And even to this day, when he probably has every excuse not to work, he's building things and he's making proper pivots on putting the right people in a position to scale. So Yep. So Sphere is what we're calling it. It's an agent-focused team. You're not promoting us. You're not promoting our names. You're promoting yourself and your name and your brand behind our systems and processes and our tactics with YouTube. But team-facing, because we want it to have identity and things like that, right? Like we're calling it Sphere. It's really cool.
Yep.
I'm excited about it. And it's like we have a team the way we want to have a team.
Yes.
With people on the team. Like, for example, if someone wants to join the team or a team wants to join our team, we're having a conversation to the team about the new team member.
Correct.
Or the new team that's consolidating into our team, and just making sure that core values, intentions, interview process went well, and that, hey, we can't bat 1,000. Somebody might be on the team one day that just isn't a good fit, and we have to just move on, and that's okay. But we're doing way more preventative up front and making the team involved with having some say with who's allowed to be on the team. And if there's any underlying glare or something that's concerning, we're going to talk about it. And if it's not the right fit, then we're going to allow the team to say that, and we're going to hold the integrity of the team. So like, team leaders don't really do that, because if it is Zillow Flex or if they are buying their own leads for the team, it's like they need people on there to serve those leads and to like try to make the team profitable. Mm-hmm. You don't really get that unique, type of like way to do a team. So there's just so many things that we're doing with it that wouldn't be allowed at any other brokerage with their framework and their construct of how they do things. It gets literally unique to where we're at and who we're at with and the timing of our business and what we're doing, that we get to do this. And like, yeah, man, it's made it fun again.
Well, and it, like, this is again from Robert's perspective and the zoomed out lens that he has of seeing how all these big brokerages have done it, how the big cloud-based brokerages have done it, and how he wants to do it differently.
Yeah.
Bottom line, people on teams outperform agents not on teams.
Correct.
The problem is that with traditional brokerages, there's even non-traditional brokerages like EXP and Real, there's all these other guidelines in place about how team splits need to be and minimums there. So you end up creating this environment where agents are giving away so much of their money, and hopefully there's value there in the beginning, but then the model itself is just made to churn and burn, right? People are just going to come, they're going to, write out their course of the team, and then they're out. That's why, hey, if somebody's on here,
it's also like demotivating like a team leader, because there's certain things where, like, if it's someone that's already within your brokerage wants to join that team,
you can't do it
because you just got flex or whatever. Like, well, even if you can't, like, they don't want you doing it now.
Correct. Yeah.
And if you do, they're saying, well, that agent has to stay on their same split before your team for a year.
It's crazy.
Before they get to team split. So now it's like you're starting to slow down the growth of the team. So the actual influencers and leaders within your organization, you are taking money out of their pocket to try to save money for your own pocket. And it's like, dude, it's not a good fit. It's not a good look, right?
No, especially because those team leaders are typically the more entrepreneurial type people.
And even beyond that, they're the ones having the team meetings. They're the ones holding accountability.
Yes.
They're the ones driving culture. They're the ones answering questions. Like, you guys think managing brokers get all the calls? They do get calls. Don't get me wrong. But let's not sit here and pretend like adequate team leaders aren't actively out there in the fight with realtors, answering questions, going over things, helping with the marketing. Like, managing brokers have to cover more people.
Yes.
That's why they're busy.
Yep.
But team leaders can be just as busy with their 10 to 50 agents, man, of in the trenches with them. So, like, you want those drivers, and you want to, and dude, it's like in the Marine Corps, man. We call this small unit leadership, right? Team leaders, squad leaders, platoon sergeants on up, right? Like, these are that's your chain of command all the way up through the commandant of the Marine Corps, right? Like, but your small unit leaders that were in charge of 4 people, 15 people, 55 people, like, they were the backbone of the Marine Corps, man. Like, the most important thing, literally, the most important thing in the Marine Corps was the proficiency and subculture of small unit leadership. Period.
Yeah.
Period. There is no other discussion before this, right? Because if whatever mission you have on top can't get to the bottom and can't get upheld and executed here within your small unit leaders, it doesn't exist.
Right.
And you see this in the civilian world, you see this in real estate brokerages. It's like, whatever mission you have on top, I'm sure it's a good one. And I'm sure you care about agents. I'm sure you're not doing things just to harm, or like as you're restricting teams. I'm sure it's a financial decision as well, because the brokerage has to stay, afloat. But
totally,
if the message and the leadership and the things aren't getting translated appropriately, all you're doing is cutting that, then you're going to lose the support of your small unit leaders. And if your small unit leaders don't even believe in you or back you, well, now it's just like for example, in a squad, okay, if I'm a squad leader and we got to go out and do some mission or do some training, and one of my subordinates is like, oh, why are we doing that? And if my response is, yeah, like, why the fuck are we doing that?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's only a matter of time, buddy.
Yeah.
Like that, if I'm genuinely thinking that, you'll have some leaders that are just lazy and they say that.
Yep.
But if you're genuinely thinking like, yeah, listen, dude, you don't know, guess what? I don't know either, man. And it's like there's a break in that chain, buddy, and it's not good. Now, sometimes there's not enough time to really nurture and navigate those things, and sometimes you're going to think you're doing something in the Marine Corps that's, not as productive, but you just have to have trust and faith that it is, and there is a bigger picture, and you do it. But civilian world, where we're just doing real estate, I don't know the excuse of not translating, a commander's intent from the top down.
Right.
And how we lead. So that should never happen in companies. And then secondly, if that's what your small unit leaders start thinking, I'm telling you right now, like, your team start to leave your brokerage, well, then all of those agents on that team we're leaving with. And if one team leaves, well, another peer of that team leader, another team leader is looking at that. And it's like the whole house of cards thing, right? Like, it can come out from the bottom. It's like, you really have to be aware of that. But yeah, man, small unit leadership is and that subculture that comes with it is the most important.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people will be stoked to hear that. Again, it's something that we get asked a lot if we have a formal team, anything like that.
Yes.
The answer
you gotta be already or open to YouTube though. Like the one emphasis.
Do you have to be local to Colorado? No, not at all. but we are keeping this YouTube centered, right? So
yeah, and just to be specific on that, right? Like there's some folks that are doing some YouTube things that are not on the team. Like just per some guidance from RP is like we don't necessarily need 9 Colorado channels on the same team. We're really trying to spread it out and create more awareness. So we're like the representative of Colorado on that team, and then we've got channels in different cities that are all in different states as well. So the whole mission here isn't to like, you know, so if you're listening to this, you're like, hey, I'm in Colorado. It's like, yeah, we're trying to spread it out a little bit as well. So if you've got questions, obviously just reach out. But we're really trying to create just more broad awareness and culture behind what we're doing. And the goal is, yeah, let's start getting to some communities where we're not at already, so we can start spreading some of that awareness.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it, man.
good podcast. We didn't have headphones or a mic, but I felt like we did awesome.
We survived. We made it.
We survived. You guys enjoy your week.
That's right.
And we will see you guys here in about a week or so.
All right. We'll see you guys.
See you guys.
Day one, no.
No. I still love Day $1
Real estate.
It's still my shit,
real
bro.
estate
it's like my first love.
redefined.
We're out of here.
We're out of here.
I'ma slip it on down and turn it up. Southbound and we're trailblazing, yeah, bud. And a posse dirty, filthy like a spit cut. Dropping bombs at the gate, bringing big guns. Raw records be the stake, we the A1. Speak up and we know where we came from. Welcome to the posse, let me hear you long cut.